Portland, Oregon woke up this morning as the most polluted major city on Earth. Not the most polluted in Oregon, not the most polluted in the United States. Number one in the world, ahead of Delhi and Kinshasa, according to the global tracker IQIR. The air quality index in Portland hit 159 early this morning. Anything above 150 is officially unhealthy for everyone, not just for sensitive groups. That ranking moves through the day as cities around the world are recounted. Portland dropped to 8th by late morning, then climbed back to 3rd. The position keeps changing. The air has not. The fires themselves are slowing down. Containment is climbing almost everywhere. And the air is the worst it has been all season. The Oregon Department of Environmental Quality has an air quality advisory covering 27 of Oregon's 36 counties. That advisory remains in effect until further notice, with no end date announced. In Calaveras County, the 911 dispatch center started taking smoke-related calls on Monday. Not fire calls, smoke calls. People phoning emergency services because they could not breathe properly in their own homes. Air quality readings across that county this morning ranged from 153 in Estacada to 181 in Damascus. And in the towns of Welches and Rhododendron, near where the grasshopper fire is burning on Mount Hood, monitors registered well over 700. The air quality index officially tops out at 500. Hazardous, the worst category on the chart, begins at 300. At that level, the official guidance is not about limiting outdoor exercise. It is that everyone should remain indoors and keep exertion to a minimum, regardless of age or health. Mount Hood Meadows is under a Level 3 Go Now evacuation order. Timberline Lodge and Government Camp are under Level 1. Get ready. A meteorologist at the Portland station said this is the worst air they have had all summer and all season so far. 200 miles north, Seattle is dealing with the same problem for the same reason. Seattle, Bellevue, and Tacoma all recorded air quality in the unhealthy range this morning. An air quality alert covers King, Kitsap, Pierce, and Snohomish counties. That is Seattle, Tacoma, Everett, and Bremerton, roughly 4 million people. The Puget Sound Clean Air Agency expects conditions to swing between moderate and unhealthy into Thursday, with impacts possible into early next week. Tacoma Public Schools canceled outdoor activities and moved recess indoors. Sports practices were either moved inside or called off entirely. The Peninsula School District canceled high school and middle school athletic games and practices altogether. The State Department of Health recommends canceling outdoor athletic events once the air quality index reaches 101. In the Tacoma and Puyallup area, the reading was 190. A district spokesperson described the process as identical to a snow day. The worst readings in Washington were not in the cities at all. In Wenatchee and Leavenworth on the eastern side of the Cascades, monitors were pushing 1,500 earlier this week. 1,500 on a scale that ends at 500. Not all of this smoke is American. Several large uncontained fires in remote central British Columbia are feeding the same air mass. So are the fires in north central Washington and along the Cascades. For Seattle, this is the first significant smoke event of the 2026 season. Western Washington's smoke season normally runs from late summer into fall, which means this is the beginning rather than the end. The agencies are telling households with someone in a sensitive group to set up an indoor clean airspace now. Check that medications are stocked. The equipment and prescriptions that make the next smoke event manageable are much easier to arrange before it arrives than during it. The fires are burning east of the Cascade Mountains. That is where the terrain is dry, the population is thin, and almost every large fire in the region is located. The cities are west of the Cascades. Portland, Seattle, Tacoma, Everett, the entire Willamette Valley. That is where the people are. For most of the summer, the wind blows from the ocean toward the interior. It pushes smoke away from the cities and holds it inland. This week, the wind reversed. Easterly winds have been pushing smoke through the mountain passes, over the Cascade Crest, and down into the valleys on the western side. The Stevens Pass corridor recorded very unhealthy readings. North Bend and Fall City, both on the western slope, were pushing 200. So the smoke did not come from a fire near Portland or a fire near Seattle. It came over a mountain range from fires burning 100 miles away. There is relief in the forecast, and it comes from the same mechanism working in reverse. A wind shift from the west is expected to push the smoke back east. A National Weather Service meteorologist in Portland said Western Oregon would stay smoky through Thursday with improvement heading into the weekend. He said they are not expecting the smoke to linger through Saturday or Sunday. 2 counties in Oregon opened extra shelter capacity for people with nowhere to escape the smoke and heat. Washington County opened additional space at Project Homeless Connect in Hillsborough and Just Compassion in Tigard. Those shelters are running 24 hours, hot meals provided, no one turned away, pets accepted. Multnomah County opened dozens of locations where people can get relief from both the heat and the smoke. While the Northwest chokes on smoke from fires that are winding down, California has the opposite problem. One fire there is still growing fast. The Gann Fire in Calaveras County has burned 10,373 acres. Containment stands at 19%. It gained 3,878 acres in a single day. That is more than a third of its total size added in 24 hours. It is now the second largest active wildfire in California. 10,000 acres would not make the top 10 in Oregon right now. In a normal August, California would have several fires this size or larger burning simultaneously. California has burned 226,000 acres this year. Utah alone has burned more than twice that. The fire started Monday evening near Hogan Dam Road and Gann Road, southeast of New Hogan Lake in the Sierra foothills. It was 90 acres that first night. By Tuesday evening, it was 6,495 acres, still with no containment at all. By Wednesday morning, 9,363 acres and 10% contained. By Wednesday evening, 10,373 and 19%. The primary fuel is tall grass, roughly 2.5 feet high. That is why it moved this fast. 7 structures have been destroyed. Cal Fire confirmed that count late Wednesday night without specifying what kind of buildings they were. And 1 firefighter was injured on the first night of the fire in an incident involving a dozer. No further details have been released about the injury or the firefighter's condition. 2,715 people are assigned to it. That number went up by 1,092 in a single day. To put that in context, the entire country added 999 firefighting personnel yesterday across every fire in every state. The Gann Fire absorbed more than all of it because crews were pulled off other assignments and redirected here. 54 crews, 247 engines, 12 helicopters, 16 dozers cutting line through rough terrain, 16 hand crews. In the first 48 hours, aircraft dropped 491,000 gallons of water. They also dropped 234,000 gallons of retardant. Suppression costs so far are $7,600,000. Cal Fire Incident Management Team 6 is in command, in unified command with the Calaveras County Sheriff's Office. Full containment is currently estimated for the 14th of August. The cause is not under investigation because it has already been determined. Cal Fire officially confirmed it as equipment use. Investigators found that a 65-year-old man was operating spark-producing equipment in dry vegetation. He had not cleared flammable brush from the area. He did not have the firefighting tools that California law requires in those conditions. The fire escaped. He was arrested the same evening the fire started and has since posted bail. Equipment use is one of the most common causes of wildfire in the western United States. It is also one of the few that is almost entirely preventable. Roughly 3,000 people in Calaveras County are directly affected. The governor's office confirmed 1,473 residents under mandatory evacuation orders. Another 1,400 are under evacuation warnings. Mandatory orders cover the east side of New Hogan Lake, stretching from Valley Springs north toward the county airport and west toward Angels Camp. They extend south as far as Salt Spring Valley Road. If you are anywhere in that corridor, do not guess whether your address is included. The Calaveras County Sheriff's Office has an address lookup, and that is the only reliable way to know. Evacuation warnings cover 5 more areas. Those include Airport Road, Calaveras Road, and Cement Plant Road. Also, Fourth Crossing Road, Fricot City Road, and Dogtown Road. Also, Finnegan Lane, Cuneo Road, and Stockton Road. Also, Appaloosa Road, Pinto Road, and Buckskin Road near Angels Camp. One zone was downgraded from an order to a warning Wednesday evening. The evacuation shelter is the Valley Springs Veterans Memorial at 189 Pine Street. They accept evacuees and small pets. For livestock and large animals, the Calaveras County Fairgrounds in Angels Camp is open. Ranchers who need to enter closed areas to care for livestock must show valid ranch pass credentials at the checkpoints. Pool Station Road at Cement Plant Road is completely closed. Calaveras Unified School District closed all campuses for a day because of smoke, then reopened them Thursday. Outdoor activities are being modified as conditions require, with students kept indoors when air quality warrants it. Families affected by the evacuations are being told to contact their schools directly for student support. If these daily updates are useful to you, subscribing helps more people in these communities find them. 3 geographic areas are simultaneously at Preparedness Level 5. That is the highest level on a scale of 1 to 5, and it means every available resource in that region is already committed. Those 3 are the Northwest, the Great Basin, and Alaska. Nationally, 132 large incidents are being managed. 29,699 people are assigned to them, an increase of 999 in one day. 650 crews, 1,724 engines, 194 helicopters. 3,366,000 acres are inside the perimeters of fires still burning. The Northwest alone accounts for 18,637 of those people. That is nearly 2/3 of every wildland firefighter working in America today in 2 states. 50 large incidents in the Northwest, 2,354,000 acres. Southern California added 1,462 people yesterday, the largest single-day increase of any region in the country. Northern California released 543. The southern area released 217. The Rocky Mountain region released 204. The country is moving crews toward California. For 2 weeks, the flow went the other direction, with California sending its own incident management teams to Washington and Oregon. Oregon has 32 uncontained large fires. Washington has 16. That is 48 between 2 states out of 94 in the entire country. In Washington, the Sinlahekin fire has grown past 117,000 acres at 9% contained. The Little Giant fire in the Cascades has passed 70,000 acres with no containment at all. In Oregon, the Big Grass Fire has burned 346,000 acres. That is larger than the city of Los Angeles. The Roe Creek complex stands at 325,000 acres and 57% contained. In Idaho, the Tartar Fire has reached 138,000 acres. Year to date, 45,184 fires have burned 5.4 million acres nationally. The 10-year average for this date is 35,000 fires and 3.8 million acres. International firefighters from Australia and New Zealand are working in the United States. 4 military C-130 air tankers have been activated to support suppression across the West. Extreme heat continues across California and the Great Basin. Relative humidity along the Sierra Front is running 4 to 10%, breezy west winds of 12 to 20 miles an hour with gusts to 30. Overnight humidity recovery is less than 30% across most mid-slopes and ridges. Fuels normally take moisture back overnight, which gives crews a window to work. When recovery stays this low, the fire never gets a break, and neither do the people fighting it. In Portland, a heat advisory has been extended through Thursday night. If enough smoke clears, temperatures could climb back into the upper 90s. Friday brings a brief change. Northerly winds are expected to bring cooler air and help clear remaining smoke, with highs in the upper 80s. Then the weekend warms back into the 90s. For Washington, the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency expects air quality to keep swinging until westerly winds bring clean ocean air. They are not promising that before early next week. Forecasters are also watching a substantial amount of smoke sitting offshore of Oregon and California, which could shift north again. There is no meaningful rain anywhere in the forecast for the fire areas. The fires are being brought under control. Containment is climbing on almost every major incident in the country. But the smoke already in the air does not follow containment lines, and the heat that created these conditions has not broken. If you are in Portland, Seattle, Tacoma, or anywhere in the Willamette Valley tonight, keep the windows closed. Run air conditioning on recirculate rather than pulling outside air in. Skip the outdoor exercise for another day. This matters most if you have asthma, heart disease, or lung disease. It matters if you are pregnant or caring for small children or someone elderly. Thank you to the crews out there tonight in California and across the Northwest. and to the one in Calaveras County who got hurt on the first night and is not on the line anymore. We will be back tomorrow with the new numbers.